Hello, everyone. Welcome to SOS Neurocast. My name is Caio. I'm a neurosurgeon from Brazil. And today is a very special episode, international episode. We bring it together three different neurosurgeons, three different regions of the world. So in this episode, we explore the particularity of neurosurgery in each country and how is developed the neurosurgeon there, how is the education of neurosurgery in each country. So it's an honor to be here. I will introduce our guests. So first one is Dr. Atul Goel. He is 1 minute. That's it. Dr. Goel is professor of department of Lilavati in Mumbai, India, and he has authored more than 750 scientific publications, and is internationally recognized for his groundbreaking contributions to neurosurgery, particularly in school-based and spinal surgery. So it's an honor to welcome you, Dr. Goel.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. And I understand that I'm going to talk to young neurosurgeons and young residents and medical students. So I will love to talk to them.
Okay. So I will talk something in Portuguese to introduce my friend for my state. So, Dr. Marcos Wagner. Ele é graduado pela Universidade Federal de Campina Grande, é neurocirurgião atualmente no Hospital Regional de Trauma de Campina Grande. Também tem uma grande experiência em AVCs e tumores cerebrais, em doenças da coluna vertebral. Então, é um prazer trazê-lo aqui hoje.
Você é conterrâneo meu?
Sou
Então a
conterrâneo.
gente pode falar no mesmo idioma.
Exatamente. Seja bem-vindo.
Prazer.
Show de bola. The next one is Dr. Calvin Mack.
Yes, hello.
Dr. Caio Nuto is deputy chef of the service of Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Hong Kong. That's it. And vice president of Hong Kong Neurosurgery Society. Specializing in endoscopic complex school-based surgery and minimally invasive neurosurgery. He's the first in Hong Kong and China to perform endoscopic transorbital surgery and has published multidisciplinary textbooks as well as various publications on wide-ranging new indication of transorbital surgery. He hosted the Endoscopic Transorbital Society Congress in 2025 in Hong Kong and currently holds different academic positions including WFNC, ACNS, ASNS, and Chinese Neurosurgical Society. So welcome to Brazil.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. It's my first time here in Brazil and actually the first time here in South America. I don't speak Portuguese, but yeah, I would like to learn some so that I can communicate better, especially with the young neurosurgeons and residents. But here I will speak in English.
So, okay. Before we start, I'd like to thank to everyone today. It's Friday night, so we are here to talk about neurosurgery, especially for the young neurosurgeon and residents. So our goal today is to share the experience of each one in each country and talk about the education and the residency neurosurgery in each country and the challenges and the ethical aspects and the technical aspects and what we want to improve in the education of neurosurgery of the young neurosurgeon in each country. So it's different realities. So first one, I would like to start with you, Dr. Goel. So what motivated you to choose neurosurgery as your specialty?
First of all, let me talk to the young fellows. You know, neurosurgery deals with a complex subject. Neurosurgery deals with brain and spine and difficult. Neurosurgery is difficult. Neurosurgery is complex. Neurosurgery is treating the most dangerous issue of their life. So those who want to become neurosurgeon should be ready to work hard. Those who want to become neurosurgeon should be ready to dedicate their lives Those who want to become neurosurgeon should love neurosurgery. They should not come to neurosurgery to earn money or become rich and things like that. They should love neurosurgery. They should be ready to live neurosurgery, and they should be ready to dedicate their lives for neurosurgery. Because to do neurosurgery is very important. You do good neurosurgery, you give new life. You do good neurosurgery, you give new smile. You give new vision. And if you do a bad neurosurgery, you demolish. You may kill the person. So neurosurgery gives you power to give new life. On the other hand, it gives you power to kill. So this power God has kept for himself and God has given to us. So if you want to give new life, you have to work hard. You have to work in the laboratory. You have to work in the cadaver lab, in the anatomy lab. You have to work with patients. You have to work in the operation theater. And you have to be completely in it. You cannot have any diversion when you are going to be in neurosurgery. So you are ready for that? Come. If you are not ready, then you think about it. So I will ask my friend Calvin to talk about this.
Yeah. So
No, my first question is
Right.
for you both.
Okay.
So why and when did you choose neurosurgery? So
Yeah.
why? So you tell us it's a difficult, but when did you have the start to, I want to do this for all my life?
See, when I joined neurosurgery was not a prominent subject. Now it is. Now it is number one subject. Most of the young and talented people want to become a neurosurgeon. But when I became a neurosurgeon, it was just luck. But one thing I can tell you, as soon as I joined neurosurgery, all my other ambitions were not present. Means they had completely been wiped off because I loved it. From the day I joined, I loved neurosurgery, and I realized that this is what I wanted to become in my life. And I got good opportunities in public hospital where I was able to operate, where I was able to learn, where I was able to see complex neurosurgery. And then as I became a senior, I was able to do complex neurosurgery. The advantage for me was I became a neurosurgeon when I was 27 years old. I became chairman of my department when I was 36 years old. So these were my very positive highlights of my life. And I worked in public hospitals which were completely free for the people. And because India is a poor country, free treatment was important for people. So I got so many patients at all the time that I got this opportunity to do many cases and learn through the patients. So before I go further, I will like Calvin to say about his journey in neurosurgery, and then we go further.
Sure. So for me, of course, I learned from all the masters, including Professor Goel here. I'm born in the 80s, so things are a bit different. So I was in med school back then, and around the year of 2000, that era. And then when I was in med school, neurosurgery is already developing. It's a very attractive subject. So what attracts me to get into neurosurgery is the skill of microsurgery. I like something hands-on. I like to have a change of a patient's life with my hands. So it's a direct impact. So when I was a medical student, I am thinking of either, for example, ophthalmology, ENT, or neurosurgery. So, and to be honest, neurosurgery was not my first choice. All right. And there was a lot of competition in other specialties. So I think it's okay. I still need a job. So I get into neurosurgery. But when I get into neurosurgery, I immediately fall in love with it. It's very fascinating. It's a lot of complexity in it. And what attracts me most is that it's it's a young specialty. Everything is developing. There's a lot of unknown in neurosurgery, in the brain, for example, that even up to now, there's a lot of mystery with the development and with the function of our brain cells. How does it work? How are we able to talk like this? Or how are we able to communicate? Or even so, what makes a human being a human? is because our brain is different from other mammals. So this is so fascinating in neuroscience and neurosurgery. So I decided to continue my journey in neurosurgery. And as I mentioned, I grew up in the 80s. Things are a bit different. So the masters in neurosurgery has already developed a lot of basic skills and are very innovative. So when I become a neurosurgeon, one of my focus is try to make the innovation more innovative. So I want to help the patients more and a better quality of life, not only saving lives, but also the quality of life is very important. So this is how I start off my career. So now I'm more involved in the developing some innovative skills and make the surgery more minimally invasive, not for the sake of doing a surgery, but for the sake of the patients.
Okay. So you were a math student?
A
math student?
No, I'm a medical student.
No,
medical.
Before that.
Before? No, in Hong Kong, the education system is different. So I finished high school. I studied math in high school.
That's
yes.
it.
And then I go into medical school. All right. So medical school, we need to have 5 to 6 years in the medical school. And then after that, I pursue the training in neurosurgery.
So very interesting. So the medicine in your country is like in India, like public medicine. Other people can have access to the health system. How is that in?
Yes, it's my hospital is a public hospital, similar to a lot of hospitals in India. Of course, we also have the private system in Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong is part of a big city in China. We have a 7 million population. Not as big, as cities like in India.
One street.
Yeah, but it's a very advanced healthcare system, which is a very good healthcare coverage for most of the people. So people in Hong Kong, no matter they're rich or poor, they can have access to almost free healthcare system facilities in Hong Kong. Now, of course, the other that would be around 80% of the surface in Hong Kong for the healthcare is taken care of by the public system. The rest would be the private system.
Okay, so Dr.
Hi.
Wagner, do you want to speak in English, em português?
Português, é.
Em português?
Vamos falar português.
Então, como é que você escolheu medicina e como é que escolheu neurocirurgia?
Eu já sou dos anos 70, né? Ele é dos anos 80. Então, na minha época, assim, neurocirurgia era uma coisa muito difícil. E você lá no interior do Nordeste, realmente era para poucas pessoas. Questão de vaga de residência também, muito difícil. Você tem que vir para São Paulo, naquela época. Né? Mas aí eu decidi neurocirurgia porque eu pensava muito como essa questão de ser médico, né? De cuidar das pessoas, principalmente pessoas carentes. E com isso a gente foi desenvolvendo essa vontade. Pensava em psiquiatria, mas aí você não opera, né? Você fica lá no consultório, a gente gosta de sangue, né? De trabalhar, de ver o paciente, anatomia, né? Então aí eu escolhi a medicina. Eu posso dizer que neurocirurgia, eu entrei na faculdade para fazer neurocirurgia, mas só que eu estudava sempre tudo, né? Para se transformar aquele especialista precoce. Então, com isso, foi desenvolvendo. Desde o primeiro ano de faculdade, eu acompanhei um professor que foi aqui residente na época de Ribeirão Preto, o Wellington Torres, e com isso eu tive muito contato, ele me deu dicas para estudar alemão. Lembre-se que naquela época não tinha internet, no internet at that time, né? So, uma coisa que me favoreceu muito foi o gosto da música, do heavy metal. Então, ali me deu muito a questão do inglês, porque Brasil we speak Portuguese, it's difficult to have English, it's other route. E com isso, foi me dando essa visão de mundo. É tanto que hoje eu estou em contato com pessoas do mundo todo e eu agradeço isso muito à música. Naquela época a gente se correspondia por carta, né? Finlândia, México, China não, mas Rússia. Então me deu essa visão global antes da globalização do mundo, né? E expandir. Imagina a gente em Campina Grande, né?
Verdade.
Uma revista para chegar naquela época lá era muito demorado para chegar, era tudo mais difícil. Mas com os neurocirurgiões da região eu fui formando a minha formação. Nas férias eu ia muito para o pessoal de Aracaju também, que tem naquela época, e ainda hoje são excelentes neurocirurgiões. E foi isso, é aquele estudante que já ia para congresso do Evandro de Oliveira em Fortaleza, eu sabia que eu ia lá, ficava do lado dele, era um sonho, né? Na nossa época tem muita idolatria você ver aquele neurocirurgião e seguir, né? Como a gente hoje está fechando esse ciclo aqui em São Paulo, no congresso do Yazarguil, é quase um sonho assim para a nossa geração. Mas foi
Muito
por
bom.
isso, por amor e por desafios, né? Que é uma especialidade realmente muito desafiadora.
Muito bom, interessante. Parabéns. So, let's continue with Dr. Guru. How is the training, the residence of neurosurgery in India, in Mumbai? How long it take it? How long you have to take to become a neurosurgeon? Everyone who finish this school medical has vacancies for everyone.
No, to get into neurosurgery is not easy. Now, during my times, it was free. Anyone wanted to come into neurosurgery, they could come. But now it is a high-profile subject, difficult to get into neurosurgery. Those who are top rankers will come into neurosurgery. And after medical degree or graduation, the course is of 6 years of neurosurgery. Of those 6 years, 2 years is in general neurosurgery, and rest of the 4 years is neurosurgery. So that is the course. Whatever, the difference in time, like 4 years, 6 years, some countries have 8 years residency, some people have 5 years residency. But most important is that you have to understand that we are going to learn a complex subject, and we have to dedicate our life, and we have to work focused, and we have to shed our egos and pride. When we enter neurosurgery, looks very, like a very strong subject, and you can be having a lot of ego and pride, but this is not a game of ego and pride. This is but to do and die, and but to learn and live, and but to study hard and dedicate, because we are dealing with a complex issue. And during our residency, we have an opportunity to learn under supervision, learn under our bosses, learn under our trainers, and we have to respect our people, our teachers. Basically, if we respect our teachers, we respect our patients, and that respect has to be there for the patient. We live for our patients, and we cannot have, chip on our shoulders. We have to be looking down, walk tall and straight with power and strength. We don't have to dress up ourselves to look strong. We have to be mentally strong with the patient, understand the patients, understand the needs of the patient, and then develop our art and subject. So that is what my feeling is.
Okay, very good. And you, Dr. Mark?
Yeah, so for the training in Hong Kong, it's similar to what Professor Goel has mentioned. Previously, it's more easy to get into neurosurgery. Now it's very difficult. A lot of competition. So in Hong Kong, the training system is actually very similar to the UK training system, and it has a very structured training system. It's 2 years of basic training and then 5 years of higher surgical training. And upon completion of the examination, of the exit examination, it's actually a conjoint examination together with Edinburgh, with the UK. So, for example, I got 2 degrees, one from Hong Kong when I finished my exit examination, and the other would be the Edinburgh FRCS examination. And it's also the same training system together with Singapore. So it's Singapore, Hong Kong, it's the same training system. So I think for the medical students who are interested in neurosurgery, as Professor Goel mentioned, you have to work really hard and be dedicated. And one more thing is that I think it's important to understand the tough nature of being a neurosurgeon. You may be attracted to be a neurosurgeon because you think you're saving lives, handling the most complex organ for a human being. However, we do see a lot of complications, and we also see a lot of sad stories. Young patients come in for brain tumors or stroke or trauma. No matter how hard we tried, patient died or never wake up, become a vegetative state, and it's very stressful to the family. This is the dark side, I would say, or the reality of neurosurgery. You may hear a lot of fancy stuff. For example, brain-computer interface nowadays is a very hot topic. America, in China, Europe. This is a thing that, well, if you want to be a neurosurgeon, you might think, okay, this is something that I want to do. But in reality, there's still a lot of patients that we tried hard, but we cannot save. So mental resilience is very important.
Yeah, and it's very difficult this time of training, and you keep the physical health, the mental health, and you have the dark side,
Yes.
as you say.
Yes, and also just to supplement as well, for the on-call system is very tough. The neurosurgeons, especially residents, when they're on call, in Hong Kong, sometimes they have to be on call one in every 3 days. So during on call, they probably cannot sleep, and the nature of the job is very stressful. You have to, because time is brain. We expect the residents to be very fast and sharp, even in the middle of night, to make good decisions, prompt decisions. And because in a blink of an eye, if you have a lapse in concentration, your decision is wrong. Not talking about surgery, but just decisions making. That already is very can be very impactful to the patient care.
Yeah. And you?
Okay, can you repeat the question in Portuguese?
Queria saber como é essa relação, o que é que você pensa do tempo de neurocirurgia, como eles falaram, 6 years, 7 years, no Brasil são 5 anos de formação. Quais são os desafios que enfrenta nessa formação do neurocirurgião?
O neurocirurgião, assim, para você ser neurocirurgião, aquelas características, né, de preguiçoso, gosta de dormir, gosta de relaxar, a minha concepção é que não é o canto certo. Tá? Porque neurocirurgia você precisa de uma guerra eterna, principalmente você que trabalha no serviço público de saúde, longe dos grandes centros, né? Você tem que praticamente chutar a bola, cabecear, agarrar e ainda fazer o gol. Então, assim, é muito fora quando você sai da residência, você trabalha lá nos extremos, você tem que ser muito forte e resiliente. É isso que traz o nosso SUS, que é a nossa grande mãe de força de trabalho, né? Os neurocirurgiões mais jovens têm que ter essas capacidades, essas características para se diferenciar. Claro que se for podermos escolher, a gente vai querer sempre fazer o mais simples. Mas a gente pode falar hoje, por exemplo, na nossa cidade, no nosso estado, Campina Grande, que não tem residência, que o paciente ele é cuidado pelo próprio médico, pelo próprio neurocirurgião, a gente tem que dar o nosso melhor possível, né? E no outro dia tem que trabalhar também. Eu não acho ruim, porque, como eu disse, eu faço o que eu gosto, mas para as pessoas que querem assim mais se proteger tudo, eu acho que eu teria opções melhores.
Muito bom. So, Dr. Goel, what is the best surgery? What's the surgery that you most like to do?
See, best surgery, this is a difficult question. Best surgery is not only complex neurosurgery, but best neurosurgery is where we give beautiful results. We change the life of the person. Like, for example, pituitary tumors. You do good neurosurgery for pituitary tumors, you give new vision. If the person has acromegaly, in the evening of the operation, the hands will become, better. The face will become better. The body will become better. You give new life in the immediate postoperative period. Similarly, actually, everything in neurosurgery is so beautiful and so interesting as long as you are able to make it. Because you do fantastic neurosurgery, it is like a magic. In the evening of the surgery, you can have a situation where all the symptoms are gone, the person has improved hands, improved legs, improved power, improved body, the stiffness of the body. For spine operation, so fantastic, craniovertebral junction, so beautiful. Marcus knows about it. So neurosurgery is tremendously interesting as long as you are able to make it. On the other hand, if there is a slightest error in your judgment, slightest error in your performance, you can create a very bad neurological outcome. So as I mentioned, it is here or it is there. and it is in your hands. It is a performing art. Neurosurgery has to be performed. It is a skill. It is like painting. You have to perform. It is like dancing. You have to perform. And that performance has to be meticulous. It has to be meticulous. It has to be articulate. It has to be perfect. Anything less than perfect is not acceptable to you and to the patient. How much the problem has to be solved, how much tumor has to be removed, whether you have to remove 100%, whether you have to remove 80%, it will depend on the situation. Most important is at all times, the patient's welfare, the patient's outcome has to be in your mind. It cannot be for any ego, for any demonstration in some videos. It has to be in the interest of the patient. So it is absolute. This subject is, in my view, there is nothing less than absolute. Because you are dealing with such a situation, you can have in your own personality little bit of an ego. Little bit, even Cushing, who is father of neurosurgery, he has said that neurosurgeons by themselves are the most egoistic in all branches of neurosurgery, all branches of surgery. Most egoistic people. But I think we should leave that ego behind and work in the welfare of the patient because it matters and it is life-changing and function-changing subject.
Yeah, it's difficult to you have the most complex of the human being, like you say, doctor, and you have the ego of to touch this, and it's very difficult for the emotional. But is there a case or a patient or a surgery that you can't forget, that you remind that's a special case in your life?
See, I have been specializing in craniovertebral junction surgery, and I have seen the magic clinical outcome. Magic. Craniovertebral junction surgery is a difficult subject. You do it properly, you create magic. You give such a beautiful. I have got at least 600 patient markers of Chiari malformation, where I ask the patient, how are your hands after surgery? I ask, how are your hands? How is the, you have tingling before operation. How is that tingling? How are your legs? How is your voice? How is your breathing? My last question is, do you think you have got a new life? I've got 600 yes. I think this gives me such a big power and such a big happiness that if I am sometimes depressed in my life, I think about that questionnaire which I have and I become fresh and fit again. So this is my power and this is my strength, and I love and enjoy this strength. This is just with one subject, but there is so many things in neurosurgery, so many issues in neurosurgery, not just craniovertebral junction, but spine, cervical spine. I never realized cervical spines can be so result-oriented. I never realized brain tumor surgery can be so result-oriented. As I go further in the business of neurosurgery, I am loving it more and more and more. Now, as somebody asked me, as you grow up in the field, what is the change you have got? I have a feeling that one change has occurred, that now I cannot accept complication. If I have a complication, I become depressed and I become down. But this is a complex subject and you can have complication, and complications are the part of our game, but you have to minimize them. You have to see to it that there is no complication, and you have to grow in the field. You cannot say, now I have learned everything, now I am the boss and I want to be treated like a boss. You cannot have that kind of situation, because when you are a neurosurgeon, it is a humbling experience. It is a situation where you are, you have to work with head down and hands and brain strong. So it is a beautiful subject, which I feel people who think they can do it, people who think they have in it, people who are ready to accept challenges, people who know that they will be able to do this complex, and they have the body and they have the mind to do it, should enter into this subject, and then they have to perform. And I can tell you, there is no limit to the satisfaction and happiness that you can get in this subject. There is no limit.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Goel. And Professor Calvin Mack, what is your best surgery, or the surgery you would like to do more? And if you have a special case in your life, like a patient, like a surgery that you remember, that's a remarkable case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as I said, in my practice, I want to pursue the best outcome for the patient. So one of which would be less invasive. Okay. It's actually a lot of patients actually request, so always come to the clinic and ask, can this be done in a less invasive way? So it triggers me to think how I can treat the tumor or a patient with a minimum invasive manner. So that's why I am specializing in endoscopic surgery. More recently would be endoscopic transorbital surgery. So it's a relatively new technique using endoscope, 4 millimeter endoscope, and put in through a small wound through the eye for the periorbital region, and then I can remove tumor up to like 6-7 centimeters from it, and that is quite amazing to the patient and to the doctors as well. One of the very memorable surgery is I still keep good contact with that patient. He's a young patient who is a pilot who operates on a big commercial plane. So he came to me because of double vision, diplopia, and that actually stopped him from his career. Because of double vision, you can imagine he cannot operate on a plane, as he's a pilot. So he's very worried, and he's young. So actually, he was stressful, and when it came to me, the stress became on me because I have to treat the patient well and to resume his career. That is what he asked for. So I did the transorbital surgery for him. It's a patient with orbital schwannoma that causing the proptosis and therefore the diplopia. During the surgery, both me and my colleagues, including ophthalmologists, are stressed because we need to strike for the excellent results for the patient, and the recovery period has to be very short. Otherwise, the patient will lose the license to fly. And imagine how much impact that could be, and you know how much it costs actually to train a pilot. So that has a very big impact. So we're lucky, and the patient's lucky. We're happy. When I talk about lucky, it's of course I would say the surgery 80% or 90% is due to the surgical skills, but 10%, to be honest, has to be luck sometimes. So the patient has no complications, recovered very fast, and he is able to continue his career as a pilot. And he actually thanked me in person many times, and he also gave me a little gift from him being a pilot. I still put in an office. So I think this is one of the good memories for me as a doctor. It's not about how technically or how surgically it's rewarding for me, but it's the patient's feedback. I always keep the patients little gifts or little cards in my office to remind me how and why I become a doctor as a neurosurgeon, and that is a driving force for me to continue to pursue the excellence of patients. In my case, would be continue to develop endoscopic transorbital surgery, which I have the privilege to speak in front of many big neurosurgeons in this congress in Sao Paulo. Happy to present my work on minimally invasive surgery to the audience here.
Okay, thank you very much. And you, Dr. Marcus Wagner, qual é a melhor cirurgia que você gosta de fazer e se tem algum caso marcante.
Eu vou abrir um parênteses aqui, você vê que a gente está pegando informações muito preciosas, né? Principalmente para vocês que são jovens, né? Estão escutando, é que você tem o professor Goel, né? Praticamente um papa da nossa neurocirurgia, e Kevin, uma pessoa muito dinâmica, né? Em termos de evolução, está no foco da inovação mundial, que é Coreia e Hong Kong, né? Então, assim, muito rica essa oportunidade, né, para todos vocês. Um caso que eu posso falar que foi marcante na minha vida foi um aneurisma, né, que a gente estava marcado para fazer às 14 horas e meia hora antes ou uma hora antes ele entrou em coma, ressangrou, então você tem que levar o paciente correndo para o bloco, né, e com isso a gente fez um aneurisma comunicante anterior. Então, assim, tem aquela previsibilidade da especialidade, mas às vezes muda tudo, né, de uma hora para outra aparece um tsunami e você tem que estar pronto para resolver. Então, ele sangrou uma hora antes. The patient rebleed 1 hour before the surgery was scheduled, so we have to anticipate. Mas foi muito bom. Então, um caso que marcou muito, né? Isso mostra assim, que a gente, da neurocirurgia, tem que estar sempre preparado para uma grande batalha.
Very good, very good. So, Dr. Calvin Mack, you talk to us. You tell to us that your specialty is transorbital endoscopic approach.
Yep.
So this endoscopic approach is the future of the neurosurgery. So everybody, the doctor and the patient wants to do a minimal invasive treatment in the patient. So the transorbital, are you saying, what is the most common complication? And like the case you say of the pilot, so you have a schwannoma and you do the surgery, but this kind of surgery or this kind of tumor, you have a recurrence, and if you need a new surgery, you can do the same transorbital sex. So tell them about this specialty, the subspecialty of endoscopic approach.
Yeah, so as mentioned, endoscopic surgery is the one of the developing areas in neurosurgery, and skull-based surgery. So the concept is to minimize the soft tissue damage, the exposure, and it shortens the operative time, and it also decreases the length of stay of these patients. The complications would be the orbital complications, which neurosurgeons are not familiar with. So I have the opportunity to collaborate with the ophthalmologists in most of my cases. I've done over 70 cases of transorbital surgery, various indications, including cavernous sinus meningiomas, middle fossa lesions, like orbital pathologies, and even malignant tumors as well in the infratemporal fossa, like nasopharyngeal carcinomas, sarcomas, etc. Another issue is, of course, it's the cranial nerve palsies. For example, that would cause the patients having diplopia and proptosis, etc. So these we have to be very vigilant and to avoid complications by paying attention to all the details. Now, when you mentioned about the endoscopy is the future, and I would say it's actually the most important thing is about the neuroanatomy. Neuroanatomy is the key to success. Understand the anatomy of the region would be very important. A lot of times when some surgeons operate on patients, they have complications, is one of the reasons that because they are not aware, or simply speaking, they do not know the detailed anatomy there. They just see the lesion, they think, okay, I can use whatever means to do it, remove the tumor, and then leave. But then they don't understand what is behind the structure. So this is one of the very important concepts. While we're pursuing the minimum invasiveness, we do not neglect the basic neuroanatomy and also the microsurgical skills. So how I get into this field is because I started off with my neurosurgical training in neuroanatomy. Doing cadaver dissections is very important. Now in Hong Kong, we also have this lab with us, and we have fellows from around the world to join us, especially to learn about the endoscopic, transorbital, and other endoscopic skills as well. And we're also going to host a World Congress of Young Neurosurgeons in Hong Kong in late October as well. So we have hands-on workshops on this new endoscopic skills together with some basic neurosurgical anatomy, it would be a very good opportunity for everyone to come.
So is it time to invite you to the Congress?
Yeah, sure.
When will it be?
It would be on the 3 days, October 30th to November 1st, 2026. So it'll be held in Hong Kong. You can search in Google, World Congress of Young Neurological Surgeons.
World Congress of Young Neurosurgeons.
Yes. WCYNS, World Congress YNS.
So, very good. Everybody should go. And Dr. Goel, you said you have operated more than 600 cases of Chiari malformation. So, do you think in India have a difference in population that probably have more people with Chiari malformation? Or do you think the diagnosis, you do the diagnosis different in each country? And if you have a different technical, a good technical, you can share with us for Chiari?
See, one thing is for sure, that human beings, whether he's in Brazil, whether he's in America, whether he's in Germany, whether he's in Hong Kong, human being is human being. So if the disease can be present here, it can be present anywhere. But there are some diseases or some issues like infections are more common in poorer countries. Craniovertebral junction is more common in Brazil and in India. Much more common in Brazil. Basilar invagination is one common disease. But Chiari malformation in general is almost uniform throughout the world. Because we have got this special understanding about Chiari malformation that we think it is due to instability. One thing I'll just like to talk about Chiari a little bit. You see, we human beings are different. We stand on two legs. All our muscles are focused to make us stand and sit. All our muscles are behind on the extensor compartment. Any weakness of these muscles is the basis of the problem. It makes our spine unstable. It leads to degenerative spine. It leads to basilar invagination. It leads to Chiari malformation. So this concept that instability is the issue is a complete game changer in entire spine, from craniovertebral junction, from degenerative spine, from lumbar canal stenosis, from disc herniation. So this concept, in my view, is a complete game changer. And because of this understanding of craniovertebral junction region in particular, Chiari malformation in particular, we are having a big number of cases in India and from all over the world, and we are dedicated to this field. India in general, and for us in neurosurgery in particular, because of our population, we have 1.4 billion population in India. Number of neurosurgeons in general is less. So we have the potential to get more and more patients. Our volume, our numbers, because I am in a public hospital, we deal with poor people, we deal with number of patients is too many. The complexity of cases is quite huge. When the patient comes to me in particular, they come with big tumors, huge tumors. When the person is ready to fall down or when the person is ready to become blind, they come to us. Easy availability of expertise in medicine is not there in villages. The illiteracy rate is still quite high. It is improving, of course, but this gives us the power to get more and more complex issues. So if you ask me what is my power is the number of my cases, my power is the complexity of my cases, and my power is I can be operating throughout the day and night. So that is my power. I love this power, I enjoy this power, and I'd like to talk about this.
Okay, very good, very good. Você, Dr. Marcos Wagner, qual é o tipo de cirurgia que é mais comum que você realiza e na região, e tem algum tipo de doença que prevalece mais na região lá de
Infelizmente, no nosso Nordeste e no Brasil, do modo geral, o trauma é a maior cirurgia que nós temos hoje. Infelizmente, a shame é uma vergonha, né? Os acidente de carro, de moto. A gente está discutindo isso nos dias de hoje. Eu acho que a Europa está bem mais avançada. Do you have lots of trauma in Hong Kong? Motorcycle and so on?
Well, we do have quite a number of trauma cases, but sometimes it's domestic and construction.
Yeah, here's
Can
is
we
a problem.
operate trauma with transorthopic approach?
Yes, actually, we operate on the orbital fractures, and there will be certain cases of some contusion as well that can be operated
Like
via
skull-based concussions, you can drain?
for selected cases.
Yes,
For selected cases.
Yeah. Então, assim, o trauma e as doenças da coluna também é muito comum na nossa região. Além dos tumores e aneurisma, né? Quando o tempo esfria um pouco, você tem mais presença de aneurisma. A gente pode observar isso.
Legal. Dr. Mack, what do you think needs to improve the training of the future neurosurgeons? So, do you think like the AI will help the future neurosurgeon, the robot neurosurgeon? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Actually, this would be addressed in the World Congress of YNS. This is exactly what I want to do in the World Congress. So innovation would be part of the buzzword actually for this generation. As you mentioned, AI, robotic have to be something that the future generation needs to think about it. Well, of course, sometimes we need to learn about it, but sometimes it may not fit into the subject, but at least we need to explore and see how to use it. And also other advanced visualization tools would be important. For example, endoscopy exoscope. And I'm also now exploring the application of flexible endoscopy in neurosurgery. Just think about it. We have OGDs, gastroendoscopy, colonoscopy, many decades, but it's underdeveloped in neurosurgery. Why? One of which is because of the optic resolution, but it can be overcome. You see how good our cell phones are right now. And another thing is just the mechanical handling. So this we have to partner with the engineers. So another future is to have some engineering concepts for the neurosurgeons. They have to understand what is happening and then work with the engineers to develop new devices if we want to pursue minimum invasiveness.
Okay. Dr. Goel, what advice do you give for the young neurosurgeons? And what is the biggest challenge in education in neurosurgery nowadays with all the technology and all this mental disease is more evidence today with the young people, young neurosurgeon too. So what is the biggest challenge and advice for the young neurosurgeons?
See, in neurosurgery, there is one is technique. You should have a good technique and you should learn that technique. One is technique. Second is technology. You should have the advanced technology. You have navigation, you have endoscope, as he says, you have exoscopes. So that is technology. So one is technique, which is important and which is most important. Technology is there to help. And the third thing is to have concepts and philosophy and understanding. And this has to be developed. Philosophies have to be learned and understood and developed. Concepts have to be ingrained and understood. So techniques are important, technology is important, and more than technology and technique, it is the philosophy and concepts which are important. And other than concepts and all those things, your experience is important. More you operate, more you have the experience, more you have the flavor, more better the neurosurgeon you can become. So my advice to young neurosurgeon is that you should be able to get opportunities where you are able to operate more, where you are able to go to the operation theater more. And such opportunities in India, in particular, we get in public hospitals. In private hospitals, you do not get those kind of opportunities. You can make big money, you can become very rich in private hospitals, but where you have the power to hone your skills, to develop your skills, those are in public institutions. You operate more and learn the smell, enjoy the smell of the operation theater, learn to enjoy the environment of operation theater. And as Calvin has said, you have to be, dedicating yourself in learning. Go to the cadaver lab, dissect more and more, dissect, then use that dissection skill in operation theater skill, learn the art of anastomosis, learn the art of dissection in the cadaver, use it in the theater, learn from your seniors, learn from those who are doing all the time, look at them and see where they are doing it correct, and find out flaws in their dissection techniques and develop. I think it is a game of learning and enjoying and going further.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Dr. Marcos Wagner, qual é o maior desafio para a neurocirurgia e no aprendizado da neurocirurgia com inteligência artificial, com neuronavegação 3D, com tudo isso que a gente está avançando agora?
Assim, a evolução da especialidade está muito confortável, né? Então, assim, cada vez mais você está usando a tecnologia no sentido de avançar a sua capacidade. Mas é como o professor falou, você tem que ter a técnica e o conceito também, que isso aí você não consegue ter no celular, você vai estar tudo pronto aqui. Não é assim. Então, ter uma boa educação e literalmente abrir a cabeça. Abrir a cabeça para novas tecnologias e também estudar os dogmas, né, dessas pessoas que no passado estão fazendo a história da neurocirurgia, chegar próximo, estudar o que é que o passado, o que é que o legado atual dos neurocirurgiões mais velhos estão deixando para a geração de vocês, e com isso serem neurocirurgiões melhores, espalhar a assistência neurocirúrgica do país. É isso que a gente está fazendo também na SBN, né? Tentar aproximar mais ainda a neurocirurgia da população que precisa, né? Você não está escolhendo doenças, sim fazer o que é que a sociedade precisa, no sentido de neurocirurgia mais social, mais no sentido de cuidar do povo brasileiro, né? Como os políticos falam, mas no sentido de ampliar essa assistência, e é isso que o nosso país, a nossa geração precisa deixar para a sociedade.
Muito bom. So, we are going to the finish of the podcast. So, I want to take of each one the final message and leave your contacts, your Instagram if you have, your YouTube channel, how can people or the students can find you in the social media. And it's a pleasure to be here and to make a part of this podcast with the international guests we have today. So, Doctor, want to start?
My one thing I can tell you that I have been associated in teaching department. My job is not only to operate but also to participate in the teaching. I like to talk to young people. I like to talk to people who can be stimulated, and I must say I have enjoyed talking. Whatever I have said is from my heart. I was not prepared at all to talk what I had talked, but I want the young people to just be good to yourself and good to the society and go further in your subject. My best wishes to all of you. I am organizing this Asian Congress of Neurosurgery in Mumbai, and those who wish to come, we have also a program for young people, for people who want to do dissection, and cadavers will be available to do dissection. I will keep a special program if you young guys are interested to come. So please come, please enjoy, please learn and develop into beautiful, young, and future neurosurgeons of the world. My best wishes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Goel. So, the Asian Congress of Neurological Surgeries, Technique, Technology, and Philosophy of Neurosurgery. Very good. So, everyone are invited to go there. Dr. Kelvin Mack.
Yeah, so I think it's important for the young generation to think carefully if you want to choose a neurosurgery to be your career. It's not a job, but it's a career. It's a life. So it's a life decision. So think twice if you want to get in. But I would encourage you to get into this very fascinating field. There's a lot to develop. And one thing I didn't mention is about brain-computer interface, which the neuromodulation would be potentially a game changer together with AI and potentially robotics as well. So we're also developing this in my center. Hopefully we have some interesting results soon. My Instagram handle is very short, Calvin, CALVIN.HK. You can add me and follow me, and I will put the link of the World Congress of Young Neurosurgeons.
Will you put in the describe of the YouTube of this episode? So after you send off the link, and we put and the link of your Congress too.
Sure.
So after today, the students who watch this podcast can access the both Congress.
Sure. And thank you very much for inviting me to join this podcast.
Okay. I appreciate that. So.
Então, eu vou encerrar, né? Queria agradecer a oportunidade de vocês terem aberto, né? Para a gente trazer, justamente a ideia é essa, trazer os colegas da Ásia e o Brasil cada vez mais tem se aproximado, né? Através dos BRICS, dentro dos países irmãos do Brasil, que é a Índia, China, Rússia, Índia, porque são pessoas que a gente pode contar sempre e está se abrindo uma nova porta de desenvolvimento, né? A neurocirurgia é uma especialidade maravilhosa. Eu posso dizer a vocês, ver o professor cada vez mais querendo aprender também, né? Então isso é empolgante e engajador. A gente espera que todos vocês multipliquem esse podcast, é isso que a gente quer. É que a neurocirurgia seja para todos que precisem e que se espalhe mundo afora, que realmente é uma especialidade magnífica.
Muito bom. So, it was an honor to be here to you.
Thank you very much.
And we are finished the podcast today, the SOS Neurocast. You can find us in Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, SOS Neurocirurgia. So, thank you very much for today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Let's go.